Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is just showcasing summer spring season basically. So this is from New York, London, Paris, you get, but this is just, we're just looking at an overview of the summer spring season of 2025, honey. So let's get into it. We're first starting off with Vetements, of course. We also the whole groundbreaking moments with Travis Scott and was it Gigi Hadid? It was Gigi Hadid. So if you see me looking down, I'm literally just looking at my laptop with all the shows and all the looks. And yeah, let's just do a little overview of what happened this season. So Vitamins with its latest show, it was entertaining, provocative presentation that maintained the brand's energy, rebellious image, and what I noticed is the unconventional venue. It was like basically in like a mall, like an underground mall with the escalators and everything, and that is definitely like fitting Vitamins vibe in general. The cast was Travis Scott, Gigi Hadid, Carmen Cass, and she walked that show pregnant and like, yeah, she killed it. The collection themes were motto-inspired pieces, self-referential nods to past collection, Vetements and Balenciaga, DHL logo on Gigi Hadid with a duct tape cat suit, which I've already seen on Kim K many moons ago. Yes, that's just an iconic look for either Balenciaga or Vetements. The designs in general echoed Demna's signature blend of irony, satire, and luxury. The show in general felt like a continuation of Demna's saga, as well as trolling with Balenciaga. That's been like an ongoing thing now, but overall Vetements remains true to its underground roots while embracing its newfound mainstream status. The show's eclectic, irreverent style will likely spark debate among fashion enthusiasts. Do you guys feel like this brand is trying to basically commercialize itself instead of being a high fashion brand? And as well as exploring the logos and branding, I felt like there was not a lot of branding per se in this collection. If I remember correctly, I will put it up on screen if there is something I catch that is like logo mania. But otherwise, it was a reflection of Demna's aesthetic and creative evolution. However, I guess like different people's reactions will vary to the show. Whether you liked it or not, please do let me know in the comments down below. Next is a show that I wasn't really looking for, but this really caught my eye. This is called Meryl Rogue. And if you've already known about the show, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me about this designer? Because I've literally been in the dark this whole time. The inspiration behind this collection was personal experience. She was designing basically from her own wedding dresses, Spanish culture and architecture, and Cristobal Balenciaga's legacies are the main reasons that inspired this show. It was quite interesting how they interpreted it into the show and how they blended it in so well with the 4 wedding dresses, which included patchwork, denim jacket, and a skirt, Balenciaga inspired gathered and draped dress, the Iberian inspired pieces, and the dried flower motifs, which were pretty much all over the whole collection. I quite enjoyed that moment of the texture with the dried flowers. It also gave like a pop of color throughout the collection. That spectacular. But yeah, the collection itself just basically showcases her own experience with her wedding in Spain, and that was honestly so cool to see how she played on so many different inspirations but made it into one thing. Next we have Balmain. Olivier basically celebrated his legacy with Balmain in this show, and it, like anything Olivier does, I'm sorry, I'm going to be biased, anything he does is just going to be a 10. It's going to be a 10. There might be some pieces here and there, but please show me a collection that did not make sense, that did not impact people, that did not impact fashion as a whole. So with this one, his emphasis was on timeless fashion and not trends, authenticity and self-expression, and it was a tribute to Balmain's heritage and his own roots. He always focuses on his background. He loves putting a little bit of himself and a personal touch into all of his collections. So in this collection, we saw pointed shoulders with intricate details. Hand embroidery was a big thing in this collection. The show was also all about inclusivity and diversity, where they showcased models that had different backgrounds, as well as like celebrating women's individuality as well as diversity. And this was Roosting's 12 years at Balmain, so of course he had to celebrate that. It's been 12 years of greatness. He literally changed the whole brand and like revived it from what it was back then. The revenue of this brand actually grew from 30 million pounds to 300 million pounds, so his impact cannot go unsaid. Like this man's legacy will of course live on. Roosting's show demonstrated his commitment to Balmain's essence in his personal aesthetic and the brand's expanded luxury presence, including beauty. Next is Elliot Emil's Spring 25 show, which was a blend of technology, innovation, and wearable fashion. Okay, I always look out for this brand because they are very innovative, as well as the different fabrics they use, fabric manipulation that they use. Like, sorry if I'm speaking so fast, but I have to speak so fast so that I don't forget anything I say. Anyway, so this collection's theme was basically spirals and nature, as well as individualism. Texture and layering was seen throughout this whole show, and I loved they play on basically the motorsport inspired designs as well as the protective padding on some of the garments. Like, I love that. The suit with the sculptural boomerang closure, that was one of my favorite looks. I really wish they would like explore more with color. However, their dark black tones, gray tones is basically their theme, so one day maybe we'll see them like burst out of that and look more into different shades of grays. Maybe, you know, that's one thing I feel like I would want to see from this brand. This brand is basically a balance between avant-garde and wearable design. They focus on texture, layering, and a mix of materials, as I said, and I love that it is unisex. It's basically mostly unisex designs, so that's a plus. That's why I'm always looking out for this brand. Next is Casablanca. This one had a lot of people talking, honestly, and I always look out for Casablanca as well. I might say this for all of these designers, but Casablanca has such a fresh feel to it as well. Just like the show I mentioned in my previous episode with the Mina Mozambique Fashion Week. I love that collection. If you haven't already, please do check out my last video. Casablanca gives me those type of vibes, but they are more colorful, you know, they are more like, let me just tell you about the show and you understand what I mean. This was his youthful fascination with Mexican American culture, LA subcultures including Chicago lowrider and surf cultures. This was more like the 80s and psychedelic style back then. They usually wore like those button-ups that were like airy and light. One of my favorite looks from this collection was the pinstripe blazer dresses and leather edged mesh sets. The graphic prints are also adapting that like Californian type psychedelic art, and that's their whole vibe basically. Can't like step away from that. Crystal edge shirting with gradient colors, oversized denim, and random rainbow frays, which were like surf inspired. Some people were talking about how the gangster cosplay is a bit like you're watering down that culture basically. But yeah, the collection had quite appealing garments. Its execution and sensitivity raised questions. However, Casablanca's evolution and growing influence were evident in the attendance and attention this season. Of course, we have to look at Jonathan Anderson, Loewe. You already know we have to look at Loewe each season because they are literally, if not top 3, they are top 10 leading brands right now. So they are going to be my list. They're going to be my next list, and my next list, my next list. we're going to look at Loewe. Okay, we have to look at Loewe. This was basically his 10-year anniversary with Loewe. And yeah, let's get into it. So this was basically classism reimagined into fashion, as well as bringing fashion realism into modernity, basically erasing the whole classism boundary and blending high fashion with mainstream. Anderson's vision for this show was stripping away fussiness from luxury fashion, making high-end fashion accessible and wearable, celebrating sophistication and modernity. His achievements were elevating Loewe from a lesser known brand to global recognition, which he did. He, of course, did. This is, if not top 3, it's top 10 fashion brands right now, high fashion brands right now. And yeah, he achieved just that whilst creating commercial success through iconic designs with his bags and sneakers, and earning respect from peers and industry leaders. This collection showcased Anderson's maturity, modernity, and mastery of sophisticated tailoring. His 10-year reign at Loewe has definitely transformed this brand and definitely cemented his legacy in the game. Just like I said with Loewe, I cannot miss a Schiaparelli show. I will almost always add a Schiaparelli show to one of my videos. We could not miss this ready to wear spring summer collection. So this collection was basically eccentric and playful vibes, ready to wear interpretation of couture's drama and texture, emphasis on individuality and self-expression. So the standout pieces were the unique denim designs, the U-shaped waistband, zip front dress, the hourglass silhouettes, of course, with the ivory bodysuit. They always have to have this cinched in corset. That is always a staple look for all of these Schiaparelli shows, as I've seen so far. Roseberry's approach to this was translating couture's oomph into effortless, wearable pieces, experimenting with texture and surface interest beyond embroidery, celebrating individuality and personality. This collection overall catered to fashion extroverts, offering bold, eye-catching pieces that showcase Schiaparelli's signature blend of whimsy and sophistication. Bold and glamorous looks is definitely what Schiaparelli is known for, and Daniel Roseberry portrays that so well in his designs. Next we have Victoria Beckham. I don't usually look out for Victoria Beckham. This was actually, I think, the first show that I actually did a deep dive into. This showcased her evolution as a designer, blending signature styles with innovative technique, silhouette exploration. They draped, curved and molded designs emphasizing the body, the cool tailoring, bonded denim, slouchy trousers, and deconstructing waistbands, whilst also still revealing skin, corsetry, and standing waistbands, which I loved. Everyone is always going to look out for Gigi Hadid, of course. The vivid green draped dress, that's definitely speaking to me, with the floating floral dresses and silk chiffon, the wet look top with molded fabric, the pointy sheer mesh. She like did it all basically. And I feel like Victoria Beckham's evolution after doing my research is she continues to take risks and push boundaries, refining and understanding of what women actually want to wear, like understanding women's silhouettes and using fabrics to basically enhance one's features. So this collection basically demonstrated her growth as a designer, blending elegance, romance, and attitude. Her attention to detail and innovative techniques created a captivating and desirable collection, if I do say so myself. Now, of course, we have to highlight Maxhosa Africa, traditional African culture reinterpreted for modern silhouettes. The inspiration was, of course, if you don't know already, Xhosa culture and beadwork, whilst rewriting history through fashion. So this collection highlighted signature knitwear such as their cardigans and halter tops, colorful polos and shirts. They are known for color, of course. We love them. this season was a bit different though. They showcased it differently as well. If you see the images from Vogue Runway, like I just love how they shot it, and as well as he also mentioned something about not wanting it to be too on the nose or too obvious. So that's what I love about this brand. They have a sustainable approach while making sure that they source local, zero waste and repurposed leftovers, such as the coat that is, they have already showcased this coat in like 2022 as well at the exhibition for SA Fashion Week. But this coat is basically just like leftovers from other garments or cutouts, and they just made it into a full glamorous pop of color. Like that is a staple. This is another designer that I always make sure that like I add designers or look up designers that I don't know of, because I feel like it's necessary to always keep learning about designers that I don't know. I can't always stick to the same designers, and there's so many designers out there that I love to learn about. I love learning about new designers, and this one was very, very odd to what I usually see, and it was quite interesting to me. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's Ashish Gupta. So Ashish Spring Summer 2025 collection showcased British creativity, humor, and self-awareness. So this collection's inspiration was basically therapeutic design process in India after business turbulence, embracing audacity, experimentation, and lightness, celebrating handmade craftsmanship and imperfection. And it was more of like a humorous approach to showcasing fashion, like just having different settings mirroring Gupta's garments. And of course this is not something we see every day. It is a bit on like the edgy side, I guess. I don't like to use the word edgy, but like, you know what I mean. This collection included hand embroidered patchwork looking garments with 20-year-old archive scraps. The designer's vision was embracing analog reality and handmade process, showcasing imperfection as a value and celebrating British creativity. So it was like a funny, humorous touch to showcasing a collection. This next one blew my mind with the construction as a whole. I haven't seen something like this in a long time, especially handmade. I don't know if it's pronounced rock. Focus on craft, handmade process, and fabric manipulation. The inspiration was exploring fabric possibilities at the atelier's table, experimenting with techniques, dyes, and handmade processes. This collection basically highlighted romantic, lighter, and softer aesthetic. It also translated into the fabric manipulation with the shearing, the ruching, and the pleating techniques, and the handmade rosettes from recycled chiffon and ribbons. The blouse capes, the corsets, and the draped trousers definitely gave it like a whimsical and romantic vibe, and I was honestly very stunned with this collection. And yeah, I can't wait to look out for this designer again and again and again, and I'm going to look at the past collections as well, because I've definitely been missing out. And that is the end of our video for spring summer 25. I definitely enjoyed looking at all of these throughout New York, Paris, and Milan, London, you know. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Obviously missed a lot of shows. There are actually so many more, but I just can't put it into one video. But yeah, that has been Real Runs with Khali. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.